and came back to haunt us.
Mm-hmm.
It's a deep spiritual science. So
I agree with you. Because that's what I'm saying too. It's like I like to bring up these things, like when people talk about, well, why are you trying to be racially divisive? Why are you talking about white people? I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about actual concrete facts, and I'm not saying all white people did this. I'm talking about the ones that actually started this, that are still instituting white supremacy, that are oppressing our people, stealing the knowledge, and now created a new slave state with the whole military-industrial complex of prisons, because prisons are not just state. They're now federal, and it is a global market. I'm talking about the United States has more prisons housed than anywhere, and it is big business for government, state and federal, to have niggas in prison. And they're making money, and even corporations are pimping prisoners. They are working from prison, creating products that we don't even know about. It was even a lawyer, a transgender lawyer I had on my show that's right here in Georgia, and she said in these country towns, we don't even know it. They got Latinos and blacks. Those are the main ones in prison that are in these country towns working in fields, picking vegetables and actually producing them, canning, producing them, manufacturing clothes and uniforms for the military that we don't even know about. So it's private. They have private companies doing security for these prisons. They're privatizing them, which causes them to make a whole bunch of money. These are on the stock market. We are actually stock. We don't even realize we're being bought, sold, and traded on the stock market. That's what's going to make it difficult for you to be able to understand how the stock market works, because you are the commodity, and you ain't benefiting out of it.
They talk about a new world order. That's old. That's old business.
But it's new to a lot of us. So that's what I'm saying. We behind. So that's why I like to do these shows. It's not about being racially divisive. It gets back to what you said. We have to know the game. We have to know how the old game, everything old is new again, and it's being recycled and reran. That's why they don't want you to know. That's why this is not taught in schools. And then we are doing it to ourselves. That's why we need to know what's going on, what everybody else is doing, but we need to see how we started it, how we put it in motion, and then how a lot of our people then with the Moors and even now are betraying us and keeping us behind. A lot of our people want us to stay locked in this system, dumb and blind, going down with the ship.
Yep. That's why if we don't create our own economic stability in our own society. You know, in 1933, it was I think it was federal. It said, if you are a Moorish American, if you're a Moorish, surface resolution, if you are a Moorish American, you can set up your own society, period. When I went to the Social Security office to reclaim my nationality, I had that in an affidavit, and they were like, thank you, Mr. Bay. I didn't pay a dime.
Well, why is it then? I'm meeting these people who telling me to get your sovereignty. They want me to pay $700, $1,000, $2,000.
Do it. You're wasting your money. See, what is the key? The key is what Malcolm and Elijah and Marcus Garvey brought. If you do not have economic, see, they know this. When you go, like, okay, let's take the word nationality. Okay, we say most of us, we lost because we don't know our nationality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nationality means you belong to a nation. Okay, a nation has its own industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have that? No.
Nope.
So when I go somewhere and say, well, I want to reclaim my nationality. Okay, what's your nation? Okay, I'm the nation of peace. Okay, well, who's your president? What products and services do you make? Of course, they're not going to really ask you because they already know that you don't have none of this. But when they know you, that's why when you go to court, and they know you. That's why Masonry is a major keeper. That's why they making it seem like it's evil. The pyramid on a dollar bill is our legal, like you said. See, that still binds them. That's why Caucasian Masons, they know that they don't do nothing. I'm telling you, sister, when I moved here from New York, was dead wrong. Whatever the case was. Once they knew you know how to talk to them, they're like, okay, because they know that it's our time now. But you have to know how to get back what's ours. You know what I'm saying? You have to know how to talk to them, let them know, look, I'm a Moorish, I'm nobility. The reason we fell is because we started taking on their titles. We gave up our titles. and start calling themselves Negro, African, black, colored, all these different words that they were slave titles. All these are slave titles. You asked me about George Washington back then. There was a kid in Carolina where they pulled over, it's not like modern day time, like a cop pulled over a couple of what they thought was like 4 slaves. 2 of them was like, nah, we're under the Morocco Treaty. Now, evidently, they all looked alike. You couldn't tell. But depending on what came out of the 2 of their mouth and what came out of the 2 of the other one's mouth, 2 of them went back, 2 of them got arrested and probably got hung. The other 2 went back walking down the street like they were doing.
What?
It's a statue. It's a case. You can probably look up on the internet. If I can find it once we get together, I'll show you all of this stuff.
Okay.
I mean, there's all kind of laws in the book. When, what's his name, in Dred Scott case, went to sue for his slave master. He went to sue his slave master. I believe it was Justice Taney said, or either the justice or was his lawyer that said, if you'd have said you was a Moor, you would have got your freedom. But you said you was an African descendant of slaves. They respect you as long as you call yourself a title that they have given you. That's why our whole language has to change.
Yes.
Our whole language has to change. We have to become more highly spiritual. Get out of this, they put the drugs in our community. They put the pornography and the gang bang and, and the guns and all that kind of stuff in our community. Because they know we're kind of down and out. But yet we got the smartest people. We got more people educated than we ever had. We got more people making more money than we ever had. So you start thinking, like, what is the matter with us? In the 60s, Martin Luther King and was fighting. That was a different kind of fight. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have athletes making millions of dollars a year. We're entertainers or people like Oprah Winfrey that have control over certain networks and Bill Cosby's, these kind of people. But everything is really from a grassroots, foundation. That's why our thing is, the world's best because seeks the knowledge of yourself. You need to get in where you fit and figure out what can you do. How can you be responsible? What can you do if everything, like I said with Katrina, I always give Katrina as an example because if everything's down, what could you contribute to the community? If you do nothing personal, we don't need you.
No, if they do, it might open later.
That's what it is right now. It's like, look, if you can't, you need to go either. But my cousin right now, he does, and anybody out there listening, I don't know how many's in Atlanta, but it's in every state.
They got one
from
in Broward too, I think, Madu bookstore.
Either was in jail, don't have a GED, whatever. It's a program called Youth Build, and they will teach you how to do construction.
Oh, they owls.
Hey, you.
I'm all right. I'm
yeah.
Live radio, internet right now.
So we got to get back to basics.
Okay, bye. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead. I hear you. I was just answering a call.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of brothers, sisters, whether they Chinese, Caucasian, whatever. It's a lot of high science on the internet and stuff like that. I mean, as we speak, we know the high sciences. I'm like, look, man, we got to create an economic engine. We have to create a society. So when you talk about sovereignty, that means, okay, when you say sovereignty, that means you got your own boats already. That means you have your own farmlands already. That means you have your own, you know what I'm saying? You have an ambassador, you have a president, you got it. They say taxation without representation is illegal. But if you have no government, no working government, then what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You can set up your own. See, America is set up that's why other people come from other places. They got their flag. They know their seal. They got some kind of culture that they think is their real history. They've been fooled. They've been duped and fooled too.
Yep.
That's what they say. George Washington chopped down a cherry tree. You know what I mean? So we don't know. The seal on the dollar bill is our seal. That's the first thing I like to tell everybody in the listening audience.
Yep.
That seal do not get fooled in thinking that's Illuminati and those other kind of stuff. They want us to hate on it because that's what binds them. Who built pyramids? Nobody built pyramids on the planet Earth except us.
Yep.
It started right here. We built the mounds in Ohio, in Georgia, like you mentioned yesterday. Before there was a pyramid, there was a mound. You had to build a mound first. You know what I'm saying? It had to be a gradual technology that's why you look in Egypt. It's like, well, how can you build a perfect building, but you can't see no progress? They try to tell you, look, we came from over here, traveled over there, building over there, perfected another building. They said they were used as weights. They're used as power generators. We use them for communication. That pyramid of dollar bill is so powerful. Scientists are going over there now. I'm talking like actual engineers and scientists. See, so far, who's been going over there is like archaeologists, you know what I'm saying, anthropologists, historians. They don't have no real science background. So they're going over there trying to tell you, hey, well, yeah, the people look like this. They were made for tombs. Look, man, we're gonna take you like they take that big hook and take you up the stage. We're gonna yank you off the stage with that kind of nonsense.